Debt Free in 30, where every week we take 30 minutes and get practical advice from industry experts about personal finance and living debt-free. Here's your host, Doug Hoyes.
This is episode number 180 of Debt Free in 30. I've hosted every one of those shows over the last 3.5 years, but today, for the first time ever, I'm going to turn the microphone over to a guest host. Why? Because the money topic we're going to discuss today is something I know very little about, and that's how to use loyalty programs to stretch your family budget. I have a points card in my wallet for the gas station I go to. I go to that gas station because it has the cheapest gas, and it's close to my house. I would go to that gas station whether or not they had a loyalty card. I got the card because the gas pump always asked for the card, so now I have one, I can use it, it's simple, no thought required. But I do understand that if you know how these programs work, you can save yourself a lot of money. True story. This week, instead of standing in the cold and paying for my gas at the pump, I walked into the shop and paid for my gas with my points card. I got a free fill-up. That's pretty cool. So obviously it's possible to save money with no added cost and not much added effort. So what other programs are out there? Rather than me doing a lot of research to figure out what questions to ask a guest, I'm bringing in the experts. So today, I turn the microphone over to our first ever guest host, my wife, Sharon Hoyes. Sharon, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk with someone whom I admire quite a lot. She has a lot of common sense when it comes to managing money on a tight budget. She's a good close friend of mine. We've known one another for more than 10 years now. And I recall vividly one of our first conversations about a decision that her and her family had made. They decided to sell a house they really loved and buy a smaller home. Why did they do that? Because they wanted to be able to manage their budget, to be able to live within their budget, and yet not at the same time over-sacrifice in order to meet a monthly mortgage payment. That's just how much common sense and how they approach managing their budget. So with that picture in mind, I'd like to welcome today's guest. Tell me, who are you? And tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Kimberly Hill, and I am a married mother of 2 boys, aged 9 and 16. And my husband and I do work very carefully on our budgeting and our planning to make sure that our family can continue to enjoy things and go places and experience the activities in life that we can do without going into debt or using credit to do so.
2 boys, I get that. I have 2 boys myself. The food budget alone can kill us sometimes in the house. So that's why you can see I suggested having Kimberly on the podcast to talk about how to stretch your income and still be able to enjoy extras. I know there's a lot of loyalty programs out there. Kimberly, why don't we start perhaps talking about the different types of programs that are out there? What's one that you really, really like? What type of program do you like the best?
I think my favorite has been the PC Optimum, which is now your PC Plus. I've really enjoyed that. And we use that one quite regularly in order to offset some costs of our budget and in order to purchase things at a better rate as well.
Yeah, so that's the traditional points style program. In fact, that's one of the ones that you introduced me to a long time ago originally, and I agree with you. Getting points for free and then being able to exchange that on other items, that's obviously a great deal. Some of the other programs that I like quite a lot, I like to be in control of what I spend. I want to know what I want to spend my loyalty programs on something I need. So I'm a big fan of things like a cashback program. So I have a cashback credit card. Something like the Canadian Tire program works for me. I don't use it a lot, but I have it because when I'm there, they give me cash back that I can then turn around and use again in the store the way I need to. I also like some fee-based programs are okay. I have a Costco executive membership, and I literally sat down and did the math. It costs $110, double the normal price of $55 right now to get a Costco executive membership, but I get 2% cash back once a year on everything I spend at Costco that I can then turn around and use as I need. As long as I spend, doing the math, at least $2,750 a year, I've paid for that extra amount. And you can actually go to Costco, you can ask them to print a list of everything you've bought in the last year, and you can do the calculation to decide, is it worth upping to the fee-based program at Costco or the more expensive executive membership. Other types of programs that you like?
We are very big users of coupons. We do use coupons. We have a coupon sorter, which we simply just picked up at the dollar store, and it sorts all our coupons, any gift cards that we might have, and we make sure we go through that and see, is there anything in here that will help us that we have on our shopping list? What can we use towards our shopping? And we also want to make sure you don't forget about coupons. You don't forget that you have them.
That's my problem.
Yeah, a lot of people do forget, which is why the sorter helps. So that does help us a lot, and you can separate it by the types of things that you buy. And so it's really easy to pull them out and use them and make sure you're using them, because they can add up to quite a bit on the shopping list.
Yeah, I'm not that organized, I'll have to be honest. My other problem with coupon books, because I've bought them in the past and then they, like you say, they just sit there. But my other problem with them is that they prompt you to buy things that you might not have otherwise bought. So you have to be really careful. They're a great way to enjoy maybe a new restaurant or new activities more cheaply. But if you're not careful, you'll actually end up doing more things and spending more money than you were planning. So it's just one of those things. You have to have good discipline, I think, both ways. One, to make sure you use it, and two, to make sure you don't use the ones you probably shouldn't be using.
Yeah, there is a lot of coupons in a book that are just feeder coupons. You really don't need them. So it's really sort out what the ones you need, the ones you want, and really if you don't think you'll use the others, just get rid of them. Or find somebody else that you think might use them and give them away. But just don't even keep them around, because you will be tempted to use them.
Yeah, that's giving away. That's a really good idea. Okay, so let's wade into the new PC Optimum program that, of course, everybody's been talking about. It just merged the old PC Plus and the Shoppers Optimum. I've been a big fan of the Shoppers Optimum program since you introduced me to it quite a few years ago. What do you think? I don't really want to get into the details about how the new merged program works. It's more, what are some tips and tricks when you're using that type of a points program? What do you use to make sure you get the best value out of it?
Well, I think the most important thing is to go with a list. You need to have a list. You go through the flyer, you see what's on special. You don't want to just go there ad hoc and start, throwing stuff in your cart without paying attention to, is it on sale? Is it a good deal? Do I really need it? So making a list and knowing your prices is very, very important, especially if there's different levels in order to achieve those points. Make sure you're going with that list so you're not just buying things just to get your points.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty anal about it. I actually go in when I'm trying to meet, if you're trying to meet a target, I actually go in and pull up the calculator on my phone.
Right.
Because otherwise you toss stuff in your cart and you're not keeping track and you're not following your list. And next thing you know, the points program might have been at $75 and you've walked out and you've spent $89. Okay if you need the stuff, but not okay if you're really trying to maximize the value of the points program.
Absolutely. Yeah, the list and then adding them up as you go. Because sometimes you'll get to the store and something on your list is not there or it's out of stock. So you don't want to just throw anything in your cart. You just got to continue to add it up as you go and make sure that you're buying things that you need. If it's on sale, like a consumable, like your toilet paper, maybe you buy 2 instead of 1 in order to get to that level because you know it's on sale, it's a good deal, and I'm going to use it. It's not going to go to waste.
Yeah, you mentioned about stuff that you need. I had to chuckle last night. So I just merged my 2 programs last night. So, of course, they send me the offers. And they offered me 6,000 points for every $20 of I spend on chips and pop. So I get it. Today's Super Bowl Sunday. But honestly, we wouldn't need $2 worth of chips and pop. So, I'm not going to go out just because the points seem like a good deal. I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to fill up my cart with something that I don't need.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the companies are trying to get you to buy more things. That's the whole point.
Goal.
That's their goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So you have to pay attention to that for sure.
Yeah. So the other thing I guess that, is to do is you kind of need to do some basic math or understand a little bit of basic math in order to really make sure you get good value of these programs. So under the new Optimum, PC Optimum program, you get $1,000 worth of points for every dollar you spend. And with 10,000 points, you can redeem. At Shoppers, every dollar you get about 15 points for every dollar you spend. Loblaws is a bit different. They give you based on so they give you an item and they say, I might give you 200 points if you buy mushrooms today. One of the things that you accumulate all these points. One of the things that I always wondered is, what's your philosophy? Do you spend the points as they come in? Do you keep them? Do you let them accumulate? Like, what do you do?
For shoppers, we actually allow them to accumulate. We do that. We often use the points at holiday time to offset our holiday bills, such as Christmas or Easter. We can go in and look for items that we can buy for our children or for ourselves, for our home for the holidays. And it helps because that's a very expensive time of year, especially around Christmas.
Balancing the budget at Christmas time, really difficult. If you can use your accumulated points, that might help.
Yeah, very much. So we do buy gifts for our children as well as other family members too. And so that it helps a lot because if you can spend a couple $100 of those points off, and that comes off your shopping for your Christmas. So it's really, really important. And that's generally what we do. It's a good idea for Christmas and holidays for sure.
Yeah, I used to let mine accumulate at, obviously, the old shoppers program. The longer you left them sit there, the more valuable. They kind of took that away. And so I tended to go the opposite way. If there's $10 and there's no reason to leave it sit there, the next time I shop, I reduce my bill that month by $10. I think I worry sometimes when you leave stuff accumulating, you go into the store and you say, oh, this is great. I've got, $50 worth of coupons or $50 worth of points. I'm going to get something for free. And you're not really getting it for free because there's an opportunity cost. If you could lower your everyday bill by $50 or by $10 or by $20, turning around and spending that maybe on something you could have done without doesn't really help you balance the budget.
Right.
So it's a balancing act.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you really should look at it as, it's not free money. So you shouldn't just go out and splurge on something you really don't need. It's points that you're going to use towards things that you really do need and are really important to help offset the cost of your family. Otherwise, like you said, it's not going to reduce any costs at all.
No. And to me, that's why we use they want you to spend money. You need to use it for a way to, balance your budget. One of the other tricks that I do, and again, this just comes down to the math, is for someplace like Shoppers, I don't shop there very often because I sort of keep making my list. I need this. There's 2 or 3, 4 things that I can only buy at Shoppers. They tend to be a little bit pricier. So I wait. And then once I get my list is big enough and they have one of their deal days, then I go in and I try to hit that high tier. So, just to give you an idea, when they offer you, they say, come in and spend $40 and we're going to give you 15 times your coupons, 15 times your points. Well, when you do that, then it's going to be worth $162 if you spent that $42. But if you hit the $50, then all of a sudden they say, no, I'm going to give you 50 times your points or 20. They give you more points the higher you go. Right. So if you can reach that $75 tier, for example, and they give you 20 times points, all of a sudden now your points you're getting are worth $300 for every dollar you spent. That's huge compared to the normal $15, but it's also better than the lower levels. So I save up, I make my list, I wait till my list is really, really big, and then I go in, as you say, with the calculator and hit that $75. That's
right. And that's what we already mentioned, is that you want to make sure you're not just trying to hit that high tier, just throwing anything on your list.
Yeah.
So if that, item that you needed is not in stock, yeah, absolutely. You're not going to reach that high level, or you're going to find something else that you really do need that is a good deal, and just don't throw anything in your cart.
No. You were talking to me earlier about doubling up on things. So if you have Kleenex or toilet paper because they're on sale and you're, $5 short, throw in another one.
That's right. Yeah. And they have limits at the store because they know they don't want people going in and buying 50 bottles of Tide. Yeah. So they do have limits, but if you can reach that limit and be able to get to the next tier, then it's a huge savings in the end.
Oh, yep. We covered the whole Shoppers, which was always my favorite part. So, of course, now I'll be using the new PC part, which I never did before. Again, it's just being a little bit aware. You see, they throw them at you with these points, and it's a little confusing. So if I go out and I buy $1 worth of mushrooms, I get 200 points. If I go and I buy $1 worth of nectarines, these are what they gave me last night, I get 200 points. But then they also tossed in at me, wow, I get 1,800 points if I buy $9 worth of their PC frozen hamburgers. Well, 1,800 sounds great. I should do that. I get 1,800 points. But really, it's the same. So 1,800 points divided by the $9 you have to spend, guess what? That's back to 200 points per dollar of spend. So they present them to you in a way that makes them look really, really enticing.
Right. And again, because their goal is for you to spend more money
Yeah.
and to buy more items. That's the goal of the retailer.
Yeah. The other thing that drives me crazy is they'll send you, because what they do is they learn about you. They learn what you buy. I will go in, I used to see this in Shoppers. So I would buy one of, a higher end, higher priced item because I needed it, and it was on sale. And I got my points. I waited to the 20 times. Everything worked out perfectly. 3 weeks later, they send me, oh, hey, if you buy that item again, say Tide, we'll give you an extra 5,000 points.
Right. But you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need it. And that's the thing. So you don't want to run in there and buy an item just because you're getting extra points.
No.
Because it doesn't make any sense in the long run.
Don't buy for points.
Don't buy for points. Buying
Yeah.
for points is a really bad idea.
Well, and they are going to give you that slightly better points deal on that item because it's not on sale this week too.
Right.
So that's the other thing. Be aware. Is it on sale? How often does it go on sale? Can I get it somewhere else on sale?
Right. And know your prices. You
Yeah.
really have to know your prices because they're
Absolutely.
different everywhere.
Yeah.
So what's the best deal? What's the best price I can get? And if it's not the best price, then just carry on.
Yeah. Okay, so that's enough of PC Optimum. They've been getting enough news lately. Let's look at other loyalty program tactics. Two of the things I got to admit that drive me crazy are having 15 cards in my wallet, different loyalty program everywhere, and receiving a ton of emails every morning in my inbox. What are some of the things that you do to kind of deal with that?
It's difficult, but you can use a different email address if you wanted to, just a free email and have all of your points programs go to that. You have to remember to go and check and see if there's any deals. Some of them do require you to load them onto your card. So even though you get the email, you're not necessarily getting the deal either. You have to actually load it onto your card. So that's an important part too. Some of them you can use through an app as well. I know the Shoppers one was through an app, so you could load it directly through your app and not get the emails.
Yeah, I love that.
So
like
it's
their
so
app,
much simpler to use.
Yep.
So if there's an app for something, I will try to use an app. And I think it just works better that way instead of having to go into your email all the time, and it reminds you when they have specials. And so you do want to take a look every once in a while, and you can you can also usually access their flyers and what's on sale at the same time.
Yeah, and then I guess the other thing you could do is if you've got them on their app, unsubscribe from their email blast,
Right.
so that because they're not like every day they're sending you buy this, do this, do this, do that. So
every single day they're going to send something to you.
Yeah.
Just unsubscribe. If you have another way of tracking it, then unsubscribe. If you never read the emails, you never pay attention to them, you just wait till it's the weekend or whatever, and you're going to look at your flyer and go shopping, just unsubscribe. Don't even bother with it.
Yeah,
They are going to encourage you to continue to buy and come in and buy things by sending those emails to you every day.
Yeah, you have to take control.
Right.
You have to take control of the process. So your idea of using the app instead of the email means that you're going to make the decision. I'm going to go, there's a deal this week. There's the 20 times points this week. I'm going to go in this week. Now I'm going to look and I'm going to see what deals are on. I'm going to match it with what's on sale.
Right.
What do I have in the house? You're in control of the process.
Right. Regardless of what emails you get.
Yeah. The other thing that I did recently is I downloaded something called the Stocard app, assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I quite liked it because I hate standing in line and being a little I'm getting older, so using the phone and flipping between all the apps, a bit confusing. So I now just open up my Stocard app, and I've got my Canadian Tire, my PC Optimum card will be switched to that, my Chapters, my Air Miles, all the programs that I have on that one app. So pulling up my barcode now is a lot easier when I'm standing in line. So I just pull it up, click on the one I want, and the barcode is there. Because I find some of them, they log you out of the app, and so then you got to re-log in while you're standing in line. It's just too much pressure for me. So if you deal with a lot of them and you want to find your barcodes quickly, I would recommend the Stocard app. Recognizing again, one thing I can't say more clearly, everything you sign up for, every app, every program, every loyalty card, you're basically giving up a little bit of your privacy.
That's right.
Yeah. You're giving them your email. You're granting them access to your purchasing history.
Yeah.
Data is where all the profits are coming from. This is all about big data. And the more they learn about you, the more targeted they get in their ad, the better those deals are going to seem when they send them to you, because they make them look just perfect. This is just for you. It's exactly what they say. So as long as you know that and you understand that, then you can make better decisions when these deals are coming in and whatever. So it's just something to always be. Everything you sign up for, they now know about you.
Right.
Yep. Okay, Kimberly, I know you've mentioned many others to me in the past, so I thought I'd just throw it to you. Any other good programs that you use for everyday shopping out there?
There is another app that I really do like as well. It's called Checkout 51. And this one, again, you have to treat it the same as any other special or deal that's out there, because there are specific specials that are listed on here. But it's something that you do after you're done shopping. So once you're done shopping, you take your receipt, you check out your 51, and you look and see what's on there.
Receipts from anywhere?
Receipts from anywhere.
That's nice.
Yeah, any store that you go to. They do have some that are specific to some retailers that if you buy it at this store, then you can get the deal. But it's literally a coupon, but they're building it up as a cash account for you. And so they might give you 50 cents for if you buy a bag of Chips Ahoy. And then you scan your receipt, you click off whatever items are on that receipt, and then once they, vet the receipt, then they add the money to a cash account. Once you hit $25, you can say cash out, and they mail you a check.
Nice.
Yes, so I've done it several times, and so far, it's just something newer we started using, and it's over $50. Twice I've cashed out and got the check, and I've put it in my account, and it's cleared, and everything's been great. So I continue to use that one. And again, you just want to watch and make sure, like, oh, well, I can get $1 if I buy this item, but do you really need the item? So I tend to look at it after I've done.
That's a good idea.
After I've done shopping. So it doesn't kind of encourage me to buy things I don't need. It's just, hey, if anything on my receipt happens to be on Checkout 51, then I upload my receipt, and that's it. It's really quite simple.
Given the fact that I always lose my coupons and don't track coupons, that might be a good one for me, because it is after the fact. I don't have to think about it when I go to the store.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
Right. And I don't look at it before I go to the store, because I don't want to be, swayed towards a certain item or anything. And I won't be swayed to go and shop at a specific store either. So I don't necessarily shop at those stores and say, oh, I'm going to go there just because Checkout 51 is going to give me $2. It's not worth it in the end. So I don't do that. Another one that is a good one is one called Flip. And what this does is kind of combines all of the flyers for all the different stores all together. And if you're a person that likes to go in and price match, places like Walmart or No Frills will price match other competitors. And so you can actually use your app to pull up the flyer for the competitor and show it to them, and then they will price match it for you. And it also allows you to quickly look around and see where a specific item is on sale without having to flip through all the flyers. So you're technically flipping through the flyers on your phone instead.
That's actually really good too. If you're in a store and you have the deal on the quote, the points, if you buy this, you get 2,000 points, you can say, okay, but how does that price compared to what I can get it at? So you can make that conscious decision. Nope, I'd rather go buy it someplace on sale than buy for points.
That's right. Yeah. Cool. And then, there's different ones, different sizes of packaging too you need to watch for, because some people think, oh, it's a good deal, but it's a smaller package. So I can get a larger package elsewhere for about the same price. So you're not getting the same item per se. So you have to really watch your prices and number of items in the packages as well.
Yeah, that's good. So, as you can see, we've been talking to Kimberly for a while on just how to use different loyalty programs to balance your budget. Living frugally isn't really about sacrificing and doing without, and I can't have this and I can't have that. It's about making the most of your money. Taking advantage of loyalty programs definitely does that. And it can help you out as long as you only buy exactly what you need. The best programs for managing your money are the ones that are going to give you things where you're going to buy anyway, where you're buying things day to day on things you have. I like cashback programs because it puts me in control and lets me decide where I'm going to spend the cash I get back. Points programs are good as long as you think about it when you redeem those points. Again, do you need what you redeemed it on to use it to lower your budget? That's our show for today. Kimberly, thanks for joining me and being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a fun day.
Next week, Doug will be back with Ted Michaelis with a short show on a cool math trick, the Rule of 72. So please tune in for that. As always, full show notes, including links to everything we discussed, and a full transcript for today's show can be found at hoyes.com. That's HOYES.com. Thanks for listening. Until next week, that was Debt Free in 30.
Thanks for listening. That was Debt Free in 30.